Yo, 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 welcome to Crate 808, the 90s rap podcast that breezes through 2 in the morning when the party's still jumping because your mama ain't home. We don't really do any of that, actually, to be fair, do we, Ray? We're old. We don't get up at 2 a.m. anymore, do we?
No, we get up at 3:30 a.m. to record a fucking podcast.
And there it is, record time. Within 20 seconds, Ray's moaned about having to get up at 3 a.m. Life choices, Ray. No one told you to move to Perth, mate. No one told you.
Yeah, it's true. But having said that, pubs have been open for like 2 or 3 weeks and everything's completely normal. No community spread. So, enjoy life in the UK. Is all I'm saying. There you go. Literally, life in the UK is your least hip hop thing, isn't it?
I don't know, mate. I don't know. If you look at the beaches, people are out there, mate. People are going for it. Liverpool fans are celebrating winning the title for the first time in 30 years. It's kind of normal here as well. It's only me just staying in lockdown, mate. Me, the hermit, just not bothering.
Yeah.
But Ray, here we are, mate. Another episode, Crate 808. It's been a minute since me and Ray have sat down to do this, but today's a big one, I think, because we are going to be reviewing an album, right, from some back in the day heads, who've continued to stay relevant in the last decade and going into this one. Run the Jewels, mate. Latest record, RTJ4. You're here to help me, aren't you?
Yes,
You're
indeed,
here to help me. Track by track review. Let's go, man. Before we do it, least hip hop thing, mate. What is the least hip hop thing you've done in the last 24 hours, Ray? Come on, bring it home.
The least hip hop thing I've done in the last, it's not really just 24 hours, but it's actually the last month. I've been a vegetarian for the last month, actually. I'm really looking forward to having a really overfilled bacon sandwich. That's what I've missed. It's what I've missed. And then I've booked it.
Wow.
I've booked in for a steak at a Venezuelan restaurant. It's not really anything to do with least hip hop things. This is the only thing that's been on my mind for the last month. Is like, look, this plate of the sides to meat.
I like it, Ray. I like it. I'm just thinking now that the amount of times least hip hop thing is about cuisine, it's a lot in it. Venezuelan steak, by the way. Never had it. You'll have to let me know how that is.
I mean, it's in Perth, isn't it? It's not really Venezuelan, is it? It's just a fucking gimmick, isn't it?
They don't know where Venezuela is on the map, do they? Bless them.
No,
they don't know.
Exactly. What's your least hip hop thing?
My least hip hop thing. So I've had a recurring dream. So I'm not sure if I've mentioned this on the pod before or not. But obviously, as we've said, lockdown. I've been working from home. Lad is pretty much all up in my grill all the time. So I end up doing a lot of reading and he's obsessed with insects and then really got into frogs. And to teach him about what a frog and a toad is quite a bit of a... I don't even know the difference between a frog and a toad, to be fair, mate. But the least hip hop thing is then going to bed and dreaming of frogs. But like, have you watched Magnolia? When the frogs fall from the sky onto the car? It's a bit like that. But they become quite cartoonish and almost become, quite scary. so it woke me up. Genuinely, I woke up dreaming scared of frogs and really didn't sleep very well after that. And so that, I can't imagine anyone, at least admitting it, you know what I mean? I can't imagine Havoc admitting that he had that dream. to be fair.
Wait, what? So what's the difference then?
What, between a frog and a toad? I haven't even looked it up, mate. I haven't even looked it up.
This literally is going to be the least educational podcast of all time, isn't it?
Mate, there's a great frog ad-lib on Run the Jewels 4. Oh my God, I didn't even think of that segue. Look at the segues here. Yeah, we're going to bring the frog ad-lib up later. Don't know if you spotted that, Ray, but it did get me. But less of that, mate. Let's get into it. RTJ4. We're going to go track by track as we usually do with these reviews, but just a general overview so we know where we're coming from. Raymond, general overview of the album before we go in?
General view of the album. So I reckon a lot of people have been jumping the gun on this. Is it contender for album of the year? It might be. There are some strong tracks. There are some timeless tracks on this album, but there are some skippable, forgettable tracks on here too, man. So don't believe the hype is Ray's view. But it's 2020. It's the age of the playlist. Who cares about the album? We're all just going to extract what's great from it and discard the rest.
Yeah, exactly. We've done enough of these reviews now to know that really is the case. But as 90s heads, coming from that, I still treat an album like a piece of, like a body of work. You know what I mean? Like you listen to it front to back. I still do that. I think with this album as well, just to see 90s heads bring 90s sentiment to today's hip hop is nice. It might not actually be sonically, but other things like, like that it's a cohesive piece of work, the way it looks, everything, the music video, they've really thought about it. Like, in the 90s, people would really treat a project like that. Like Biggie didn't go into doing Life After Death without thinking, right, this is what the album art's going to be like. This is what the blah, blah. But then RTJ always do that, don't they? So
yeah. I mean, so I guess, like you're saying, there are some 90s aspects of it in terms of that. Obviously, I got time for RTJ in terms of their ethos and what they're trying to bring a theme. But it's not. It ain't boom bap hip hop, is it? Is the thing. So
no, it's not.
Yeah. So that's the point I'm coming from. That's the point where I'm starting at, is that I'm like, it ain't boom bap hip hop, is it?
Right then. So first one, man. Yankee and the Brave, episode 4. I think me and you discussed this single anyway on the Digging the Crates episodes. I think if you're talking about how an album is going to start as it means to go on, there's just no messing about, straight in, banger. Like if you listen back to their other albums, think about when they started with a track called Jeopardy and Down. I think it's called Down. Yeah, Down and RTJ4. They aren't bangers they kick off the albums with. They actually have quite slow starts to their albums. So hearing this as track 1, I was just like, holy fucking shit. This beat alone is just sick. I'm not even going to go to the bars yet. But just so you know where I'm coming from, Ray, yes, please, one of the tracks of the year, absolute banger, and it kicks off the album. What are you saying to me, Ray?
Yeah, I mean, it's undeniable, isn't it? The build up, that's that Westwood explosion rewind moment at the start. When the beat drops, that's when the horns are going off, and you're like, whoa. Let's pull that back and do that again. Let's start that again.
Yeah, pull up.
Yeah, like you said, I think we already spoke about it on the pod, but yeah, it's a ridiculous track. Just all the cliches. Changes the way you walk. Breaks your neck. It's got lyrics with the concept as well. Mike talking about taking on the cops outside and LP in a getaway car. Like, it sets the scene for the album, and how can you not be along for the ride after that? Yeah,
man, absolutely. I think that's the thing with, because this does set the scene. It's an interesting track, to be fair. It is actually a really, first of all, my first thing I've got to say right now, I'm going to set my stall out now, and I'm going to prove it over and over and over again during this whole deep dive. Killer Mike, for me, is 2020 MVP. So if you're not ready for a Killer Mike loving, I don't think you're going to really enjoy this pod, because although I love LP, El Producto kills it, man. He does. Killer Mike is operating on another level, and this is an album that showcases just how ridiculously good he is. And that top tier level is interesting because it comes with a swagger, it comes with a confidence, and LP has that as well. They had this swagger, he just goes in, he's so confident about how he's going to spit something. You can't help, it's very infectious. And even just generally outside of music as well, the whole way, obviously RTJ has dropped when there's a wave of protests, a wave of change or supposed change in the world. This has been everyone this is, soundtracking a revolution. So it has that kind of momentum to it. But if you actually just listen to the music, mate, the music videos, everything as well, Killer Mike is out there far and ahead of the crowd, kind of ruling rap at the moment for me. And I don't know what you think on that, but if I'm just going to cap it with one point, if I look back at my last few years, in your head, you make your favourite rapper of the year. And I was thinking, my favourite rapper or rap albums of the year have been really, really coke rap orientated. So it's either Freddie Gibbs, Pusha T, Benny the Butcher, or Griselda as a crew generally. Maybe I just love cocaine or the thought of cocaine, Ray, right? But that's
definitely it. Cocaine would definitely benefit the 3:30 a.m. start. Obviously,
it probably would. But what did you have for breakfast? Cocaine. Love it. Let's go. You know what I have for breakfast? Cocaine. But what I was going to say was that is an interesting shift in just where RTJ have still dropped albums, but for some reason I should hail them more. And this is the album where I'm like, okay, so Killer Mike's just starting off the whole fucking project with back at it like a crack addict, Mr. Black Magic, crack a bitch back, chiropractic, craftmatic. All right then. Okay, then I'll just pop off now then down the shop so I can think about what you've just done to me. Just going to get a pint of milk, get home, and Yep, it's still ridiculous. Yet my mind is still like, what the fuck, man? Ray, come on, man. Tell me what you're thinking.
Yeah, he does smash it. And it's the thing with, I mean, it's Killer Mike. And let's look at, I'm sure we'll go into further with the later tracks in this album, but he's kind of at the forefront at the whole movement that's happening now on the back of, do you know that clip that's been circulating of him? He gives that impromptu speech.
It's at Atlanta, isn't it, or something?
Yeah.
That's when the riots were like really, really bad.
Yeah, but he also said, I can't remember the specifics, but you agree with it, basically. You know, the sentiment of what he says and how it's not. He has a really reasoned, well-worded approach about the whole thing. He's not like unnecessarily anti-police. He's just like, look, let's all just stop the violence and let's really address this. And I think what the reason why I bring that up is that obviously there's themes that are covered in this album. Yeah, it's well worded and well thought out, and it's a great start and it's also that back at it like a crack addict. It's before the proper beat drop as well. It's the build. It's the way he builds up that flow, and then it's. I gotta say as well though, I'm feeling LP's verses all through this. If I had to put them head to head, I mean, I'm in LP's corner because like,
oh
yeah, because really? even this first one, like Killer Mike's is back at it like a crack at it, but whereas LP's one is similar, but stack at it, map with the bat, you know what I mean? It's that kind of offbeat. It's just they're both keeping you on your toes, and then it's from the outset. It's it's sick.
Mate, that's really interesting coming from that point. I know LP's they're both amazing. I think there's something about Mike, just to touch on what you said there before we go into LP, about the Atlanta speech and stuff. I think the one thing, if you heard that speech, I'd like to think, okay, maybe not extremists on either end, but at least people who may disagree about what's happening, when they heard him speaking, it was the way he said it as well. You can't help but feel like, fuck man, I'm with you. Because it was so heartfelt, but also so logical. It's such a logical thing. And I think that is something they skirt to and fro from in this album, where a lot of it is illogical and a lot of it is hypocritical, but they completely address their hypocrisies and they address their own issues, which makes it a brilliant album because you can dig into so many little things. So when you're saying there about LP at that start, man, I was confused. It was so good, it confused me. I was like, what? Hold on, what? What did he just say? And it took me a few plays with no genius, no nothing, just to try to catch what he's saying. And the way he just brings it, I was like, holy shit, man. But then if you look at those Stack Addict and Mac with the blackest fabric on back, when he's saying stuff like that, if you were to dissect what he's saying, a lot of this album is anti-capitalist. A lot of this album is anti-materialism and anti is money really worth, your soul and stuff like that. Yeah. But they also are saying, I'm a stack addict, which basically means like I'm addicted to money. Well, that's how I take it.
Yeah, so this is obviously, the first two verses don't really go into it, but it's a robbery, isn't it? And LP's in a getaway car, and so it's it's all part of the theme of the album as well, isn't it? So it's like semi a joke, semi Yankee in the Brave, and semi that's three halves, isn't it? That's too much, but yeah,
you have two semis, mate. Yeah, that's what she said. Sorry, Michael Scott fan. Sorry. And again, this obviously we're only at track one, but as most people have already commented on in all the reviews and what people have already probably heard, there is a concept to it. This is a TV show. This is a sci-fi rap TV show. Like politics is in there, but if you listen to RTJ4, politics is at the centerpiece of the album. That is their most like political and aggressive, I would say, even though they have Zach De La Rocha on Zach De La Rocha on this. Is Zach De La Rocha or Zach De La Rocha? What is that?
I've always said Zach De La Rocha, but
Zach De La Rocha, Zach De La Rocha. Either way, Zach from Rage.
Him. Yeah.
Even though he's on this album, there's a moments where you think like they are in this one having more fun. And as we talked about on the DITC episode, the fact that this descends into this kind of like car chase with the cops and LP's fucking humor where he's like, you do not get to just die. You still owe me for them nikes. Like...
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a
I'm here
taste
for
of it's got jokes. It's got really really fucking serious subject matter. There's actual content in the verses. Yeah, I'm in.
And when you talk about content, actually, before we move on to track 2, there was some bits that are from the crack at like a bracket Mr. Black Magic. I thought, I'm going to do a little deep dive into Mr. Black Magic because I was like, it could just be an off key. But then I saw that Genius had it highlighted. I thought, let's just see what Genius say. And Mr. Black Magic is a man called Billy Daniels, mate, from the 50s. Groundbreaking TV performances in the 50s, right? And then this, whole album is like a TV show. Is Mike operating on levels, what I'm trying to say to you, that we're not even aware of yet?
No, I don't think
No, he's not, is he?
I think I think he's just saying it because Black Magic rhymes with crack addict.
Yeah, you're right.
I think people are really got to go into it and say, oh, this must mean this reference from the 1923, blah, blah. No, it's just Mr. Black Magic.
But one thing that does come out of it is Billy Daniels is a great voice, stunning voice, my friend. I would say, I watched a silly amount of Billy Daniels just on YouTube. I don't know why I was watching it that much. This is what happens, isn't it? When you get old, you start doing stuff like that. And obviously, mate, the fucking flow.
I think while we're 39, we're not old. And as soon as you hit 40, you're old. I think that's the halfway point, isn't it?
Ray, why don't you just go fuck yourself? Because I'm going to turn 40 and this is your little trolling. I get you. I see you, Ray. I know what you do. But again, just so we highlight how much we are in love with this kind of first track that kicks off that album, mate, can we not sleep on the fucking flow? Because you talk about satisfying. There are so many satisfying moments. Maybe I can't spit it, but it's satisfying to hear when he says, Big Daddy smoking Big Cali in the back alley in a black grand natty, rolling the old natty hair, nappy matty like a black granddaddy. Holy fucking shit. I'm like, what? That's just one of many times Killer Mike just does stuff like that. And he does another bit in this way. It's like, wave runner with the gunner, I'm going to have a black hat all summer, all that. Just silly, mate. Just a silly track.
Yeah, he's bringing it.
I did actually just double check on, because LP was tweeting a lot when this album was coming out, and trust me, man, there was some real gold in what he was talking about. And I remember when they not leaked, but posted a snippet of this track, and I looked at his caption that he put on when he posted that, mate, and his caption was, Day 12 of social distancing. Don't ask when it drops. We don't know yet. In the meantime, punch a hole in the wall to this shit.
Oh, and it has the drop, doesn't it? He turns and faces the camera, and then his screen rather, and then it's just got that drop, and it's the way it starts. It's the way it starts a track. It's the way it starts an album.
Yo, what's good, y'all? This is Master Ace, Brooklyn, New York, Crooklyn Dodgers, all that. You're checking out the Crate 808 podcast. Make sure you tune in every time.
So, second up, man, Ooh La La, Raymond, please tell me what you think about this track.
Ooh La La. So, to be honest, I find this track a bit annoying. It's just I think it's just overhyped. So the tune it samples, I don't know how you want to pronounce it. Some people say it's a misspelling of dick. Some say Dwyck, D-W-Y-C-K, Dwyck, whatever you want to say. Yeah, it's a faster pace. It's more upbeat. And look, like I said at the start, I'm into that's boom bap. Primo beats, that's basic, that's me, that's hip hop right there for me. So you've sampled a faster paced boom bap tune, and it's kind of, I don't know, ooh la la, it's a slower pace, and it's not upbeat, and it's not a happy tune. It's kind of an off key loop. It's a single note bass line. I don't know. It's just forgettable to me.
You're an off key loop.
Yeah, it's not for me.
That's my argument.
For me. Not
you're an off key loop.
Me next.
The fact it has Primo on here is odd, and I was like, I thought that not odd, but it's odd that you don't like it, because I was like, well, it has that dusty kind of.
Yeah, but I don't want Primo. scratching or just, in the video waving, hi, I'm Primo. It's not, he's not,
Why not? That's enough in it. I think. I don't know.
Firstly, I'm not watching any videos ever. I'm not watching music videos. Like, how old are you? Fucking hell. I'm watching the music videos. Well, you were still watching it. You're watching it like MTV. It's MTV
Mate,
Raps.
I'm sorry. Hold on a minute. It's not MTV. It's YouTube. I'm on YouTube like pretty much daily. So these videos always.
I'm on YouTube watching Jordan Peterson videos. Okay, I'm a very serious adult now.
Your algorithm is all alt-right. All right, white supremacy.
It's not all right.
And mine is
don't get me started. It's not all right.
Well, I was going to do an extreme one
left.
for me as well, but it's fine. If you don't want that, it's fine. Mine is just dead end hip hop, Anthony Fantano, and hip hop videos. That's literally all mine is as well. Don't worry about it, mate. It's all good. But when you talk about the music videos, man, I don't know, mate. I like it. Music videos can be quite whack, but something about Run the Jewels, it really like completes their whole image for me. Like, I love their logo as well. I love their merch. And I think the music video is just the extension of it. So for Ooh La La, when the music video for this, first of all, Killer Mike is rocking a Joy Division jacket. I'm in. When you're bringing Joy Division and stuff like that, and then you've got Zach in there as well. I don't know. I really, really enjoy it. Actually, talking about them, I did see, talk about merch, but LP always wears like a black jacket all the time. And I was thinking, should I adopt that look, Ray? Like, I don't know, I feel like a new look coming up, like in the 40s, and LP's always wearing his like black jacket, and I'm like, maybe that's a look. So I need to ask you what you think about that.
You'd never pull it off because you are hip hop t-shirt. Yeah, you're not LP for one thing, yeah. But you'd always have to have the jacket open and unzipped because you'd be like, look, I got this t-shirt on. And even if it's fucking freezing outside, you'd be like, no, but people have to see the t-shirt. Look, I got a new t-shirt.
People do have to see the t-shirt. It's
That's
true.
it.
It's true.
So,
okay, fair enough. I'll give you that.
I could pull it off. Eh? Get me
You probably could.
Get me the black jacket.
Why don't we both buy it, take some pictures, see what everyone thinks? How's that?
Just definitely not do that. No one cares. No one cares what you're wearing. All the rest of us listening to this are adults that don't watch hip hop music videos.
Come on, they get millions of views. Come on.
I
love
from
the music
children.
video.
They're made for the
Killer
children.
Mike is skipping. Like, do you not want to see that? Like, Killer Mike's skipping rope. Yeah, I want to kind of see that. I don't know. Simple pleasures, mate. Simple pleasures. This is what you're missing out on, Ray, where you don't watch the videos, stuff like that.
I'm not old, but I am an adult. We've specified we specified the differences, haven't we?
An adult prick. Mate, the jarring piano fucking keys, the dusty kind of vibe, haunting like undertone, and that fucking hook, man. I reference my family quite a lot, but we've been in lockdown, man. There's not a lot more things I can reference right now. So, all my London Tube stories are down the pan, man. So, even today, I'm working and my missus is taking the lad to go for a wee, and I just hear him going, ooh la la, wee wee. And I was like, have I been playing it, right, that much? That my own family is just going, ooh la la. And I love it. It's infectious, the beat itself, but also obviously it's quite traditional as well, and everyone loves that. And I think it's a really good marriage of like traditional hip hop, southern hip hop, obviously New York rap as well. Like, they've all, to be fair, LP and Killer Mike as a tandem in rap history, we can talk about this later, but in rap history, they marry up so many different hip hop sounds and make it good. They're just like fucking great. They agitate a lot of that fucking shit. Like, they're agitators in rap, man. They just pick what they want and just go with it. And I love it. But I think more than just that, and I love all that, but more than just that, my favourite verse of 2020 is on this track. It's Killer Mike. He just goes into this, I'm a dog, I'm a dirty dog, ha 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 ha, old dirty bastard, go in your jaw, shimmy shimmy yaw, gotta send me in the hemi, gimme yaw. That, yeah, I'm in. That whole way flows that. I've just murdered it. I'm sorry for murdering it. But everyone knows that is just sick. And yeah, it's just one of the most quotable lines of 2020 to me now as well. I've got a semi by the hemi, gimme y'all. I love that shit.
Yeah, he's got some, there are some little bits on it, but the beats, I ain't listening to this. I ain't choosing to come back to this beat. This isn't one when I'm dipping into this album and selecting the tracks that are gonna be on Ray's little playlist. It ain't making the cut.
Okay. It's an interesting one with the beat. Just before we do move on, there was one thing about Run the Jewels that sometimes, and I know people don't really say this, but I was a bit like, is it just me? So it may just be me. But do you know when you have like hip hop, which is very synthesized, there's a very synthetic feel to hip hop, which is like Run the Jewels a lot of the times is synthesized hip hop. This is one of the least synthesized tracks I think they've done because there's that sample to it. There's obviously, you know, the Dwick influence as well. I think at some points, because this is kind of evolved hip hop, like, you know, it took stuff from everywhere, from hardcore hip hop to experimental hip hop to everything, and made it extremely heavy and fucking funky at times. I don't know, synthesized sounds like that, they wear thin on me sometimes over a long period. So like Run the Jewels 1 now, I don't know if I listen to that as much now because an Alchemist beat has a bit more, I don't know if it's soul, but there's like a depth in a sample.
It's exactly that, yeah. I mean, it's hard to be specific about it. It's hard to articulate it, but yeah, I'd say that, exactly that. It's got more soul to it.
Yeah, I mean, the bars always carry Run the Jewels over anyway, and in that aspect, they're always a premium up there, or like, you know, they tend to be very, very consistent. There's only a few tracks even on this album where the bars slip up a little bit, but even then, you're not like, you know, on another album, you're probably like, they're fucking great.
It's the thing with it is that like, I don't think all hip hop should be boom bap hip hop. Obviously, life would be boring if it was that. The thing is, when they get it right, they get it so fucking right. Like Yankee and the Brave and more tracks that we're going to mention. I just don't think Ooh La La is one of them.
Hey, it's Steve Rifkin from Loud Records. You're rocking with the Crate 808 podcast. Spread the word. These guys are dope. The questions they ask and the interview is amazing. Enjoy yourself. Be safe and be healthy.
Okay, so Out of Sight, let's go. Just so we have a bit of an idea on the production credits, by the way, this is pretty much all produced by LP. And I looked up who the other people are. They are Wilder Zobi and Little Shalimar, mate, who have got very, very strong looks. If you do go online to check these guys out, you know, they've got the beards, they've got the hats, they've got the glasses. Very cool guys. That sounded so Radio 2 just then. They're so cool, those guys. They're like, ooh, you know, what do they call them? Hipsters. But just so we are noting that, as we already usually do, RTJ, pretty much the same people are producing this whole thing. So when Out of Sight comes on and you think, wow, you just took me from Yankee and the Brave, Ooh La La, quite different, and now we're doing this right now? Like, it sounds like a fucking Transformer bebopping or some shit. It's like, what is happening right now? It's just a very odd, I love it though. I love it. I think they flip a song because it definitely sounds like an old song. Actually, I did look it up. Yeah, it's DOC's. DOC's Is It Funky Enough? And you recognise that flip. They've flipped it a little bit where you're like, oh, yeah, it's definitely that. It's one of them where you, again, are looking at Killer Mike, his second and third verse. Yeah, where he says, my motherfucking Uzi wear a ton, hit the drum till you hear it go, ba-rubba-bum-bum. And that, he's still bringing flavour, he's still bringing confidence, swagger, just things that highlight a track. Like they elevate a track for me. I know people may not be worried too much about lyrics nowadays, but when someone does it as crisply and as vividly and as consistently as these two are doing it, especially Mike, that's again on this track evident throughout all of it. And LP as well.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the thing with it is, like, as much as whenever there's a beat that is disappointing, their lyrics do bring it up. You are like, I'm leaning towards the skip button, and then the verse comes in. And I'm like, oh shit, all right. They got a couple of, like you say, they got a couple of lines. But yeah, I mean, this track, like, I'm not trying to be a dick from the outset. But yeah, I'm not really feeling it. I mean, I like the to and fro on the Mike and LP do on the first verse. Yeah, like what you said about the beat. The beat sounds like it's like an 80s movie version of what future music would sound like. But
that's the whole point of the whole TV show as well, though, isn't it?
The thing is, in this case, that 80s movie would have been correct. But I mean, that doesn't make it. It doesn't make it good music. It's like, you know, like Robocop 2 when they're in the club. You remember that scene? It's that. Yeah. It's that.
Robocop 2.
Because do you remember those tunes? Do you remember those tunes that were playing in Robocop 2 when they're in the club?
I'm trying to rack my brain what those
No, you wouldn't remember them,
were.
And you won't remember this tune either. Exactly. Next.
Mate, I think it was odd when I first heard it, but I don't skip it, and I actually really like it. I love it.
You will. When you're bringing it to the album of the year debate at the end of the year, and I'll be like, oh, so what are you saying about RTJ4? And you'll be like, who? That's it.
Huge claim.
I don't think you'll be bringing it. I'm not. Maybe you will. There are some. Yeah, there's more to come.
There's more to come. This is an album I will be bringing to the end. It's one of my favorite albums at the moment. We have done this review. I don't know, but it's been about a month or so since it's been out, right? Like, we've had time to sit with it, and I still fucking love it. Sample corner alert here, Ray. Sample corner. We know we love for the sample heads out there.
Yep.
I checked out the sample for this, and obviously you've got the DOC stuff, but there's a track that I would love you to check out, mate, called Misdemeanor by Foster Silvers, mate, from 1973. That is an incredible old school jam that they flipped for this. And again, it's these things where you think like, oh, LP's just flipping like things and making them so, you wouldn't really spot it. Well, I wouldn't have spotted it. It's again just his craft. He's just fucking incredible. They're both craftsmanship on this is amazing. And you may not like this track, but I don't know. There's something about it that still moves me. That still gets me going. It's quite a breathless start to the album. To be fair, the first like 3 tracks are like quite upbeat, if you know what I mean. I know Ooh La La's a bit different, but it still gets me high.
If we're talking about our staples, then this has got the Master Killer corner on it as well. Hurricane G Award, whatever you want to call it.
Are you going to say 2 Chainz? Are you going to say 2 Chainz is your
hell yeah, 2 Chainz. What are you going to say he's not? He's literally got the line.
I thought he was all right.
Cool as AC. Really? Yeah. That's where we're setting the bar. Just literally sat there like with his pencil out on his pad, like, cool. What's cool? What's that noise in the background? Oh, it's the AC. Oh, the AC. Yeah, that's cool as AC. Fuck it up. Come on,
mate.
Do better. It's 2020.
It's 2020 because that's the reason to do better. I think I don't know. I thought 2 Chainz was absolutely fine. It didn't blow my mind, but I didn't expect much either. The line like AC, it's like yeah. I get if you get really annoyed by things like that. Yes, it's annoying, but I kind of was fine with it. I thought I was fine with it. Okay, man. Next one. Holy Calamafuck. Raymond Ridge, what are you saying to this track?
See, now we're starting to mean business. Like LP, he really feels the whole range in terms of the like the sonic, just the whole range, from the extreme left to the extreme right, the sonic spectrum. The spectrum. Let's go with that. The sonic. He basically fills the whole void there is of what there is to listen to, and you're really in amongst it. That's basically like when you're listening to the track, it's like it's 3D sound. There's shit going on all around you, and there's echoes all over this, and I mean it in a good way. It's kind of this one. Like I'm really feeling the big cinematic beat switch. Like it, it's not even halfway. It's like after the first third, isn't it? And the second part has this big like echoing like snare sound, and they both kill it on the flows as well. Like this is one of the stand. This is like right, we've arrived here. This is one of the tracks. What are you saying?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. I think this is another one where you think. I mean, even if you don't like that, the other tracks we just talked about outside, whatever, that's a bit too off for you, whatever. This is a track which brings you back to okay. Turn this shit up to fucking 11 right now because it's fucking incredible. And I'm with you. There's so much you can talk about LP. I love a beat switch, Ray. I love a beat switch. And the beat switch on this, the heaviness of that beat switch is just fucking unreal. And the way, like you said, it builds up and Mike just fucking ends the track amazingly. There are moments in this where you figure, wonder what LP's listening to, because this reminds me, it has elements of MIA's music. I'm not sure if you're a fan of MIA, but she tries loads of weird and wonderful shit. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But like, this is one of them where I was like, wow, I can kind of, I get that same energy. But man, just again, like you talk about the beat, how that in itself is incredible. And then you put on them, like you said, the bars, and you just, what more could you want from hip hop? When when Mike says the backhand whack rap slapper, I was like, hold on, what? You catch things, you catch little couplets, like as you listen to the album. I'm glad we took a minute to get to this album because I probably may have missed that, but I love that. That's one of my highlights. The backhand whack rap slapper, and then also how satisfying it is when you hear something like that. It makes me remember when I was a kid. When you have an album like OC's album or an album that's lyrically very dense, and you'd listen to it, and like a year later, you're getting things and it's satisfying and you're like, oh wow, I never realized how good that was. There's so many moments on this album that are like that. And another one on this is LP. LP, earlier he called people charlatans. The way he uses language and twists and contorts it is fucking incredible. In this, on his second verse, he comes up with the magic bean imbibers, the green giant of rhyme contrivers. And that's just one couplet. And I was like, just saying the magic bean imbibers. Who rhymes that, man? Apart from MF Doom, who rhymes that? Like, who does that? No one does that. And there's other bits at LP. I've got another one I noted down just before we recorded, Ray, because I just heard it as we were about to record, which is, I slap a yapper from the acne to the tooth bone fibre. I'll slap you from your acne to your tooth bone fibre.
Yeah.
Mate, if Cannabis had said that in 1997, my head would have blown off. Do you know what I mean?
He does drop some gems in here. Yeah, that whole that goddamn somebody call Amberlamp or ambulances.
Yeah.
Yes. Just it's all these little it's littered all through it, like LP dropping the gems for you could easily miss on first listen and second listen. Then you kind of find it on the re-listen and paying a little deeper attention to it. Yeah, that's the aspect of this that I'm feeling.
Exactly. And it has that braggadocious thing. And it also has the braggadocious thing is just LP. Just remember, LP has been doing this for over 20 years. And when he just says something like, every other goddamn year I'm brand new, it's been 20 plus years, you think that's a clue? Maybe this guy kind of killed what he do. He probably that dude, he left enough proof. Fuck off, man. Fuck right off. He's just based, do you know what I mean? Just, that's it then. You've made your case. Look at me, I can't even speak anymore. But this is what I'm saying. He does stuff like that. And just one thing before we do go off is I've been a fan of the old Altered States, of the old Timothy Leary, LSD, acid trip vibes. And I know, Ray, you've also enjoyed a bit of that as well, right? This whole acid trip section of this track, by the way, where he licks a toad's back like, delicious. The time elves wave me off in the distance. Hey, little guy, I'm just walking through from another timeline where monsters eat truth. What's going on right now? And then he starts talking about the multiverse. And then in the back of it all, when he does lick the toad's back, you hear the ribbit in the background, and it emphasizes the.
Yeah. It's such a good touch to it, yeah.
It really is. It's them little. That's what Eminem in his heyday is amazing at as well. You emphasize your punchline's good. You emphasize it with an ad lib or a sound clip or something that follows it. And LP's from that same school, man. And I think these moments is, again, if you look at people who used to do that back in the day, I do look at people like Beastie Boys, and I hear a lot of Beastie Boys in this album as well, especially that last album they did, Hot Sauce Committee Part 2. There's a lot of that in what I feel in the spirit of these guys. By that same token, I suppose you could say Injury Reserve, JPEG Mafia, even like the Spirit of Death Grips, they have a lot in there. They're a melting pot right now. And do you know what else, Ray, what we said earlier about them being confident and having a swagger? I think this album, like you said, with the spectrum of sound on this track alone, think how different these tracks are that we've talked about, yet they're all uniquely RTJ. Really hard to marry that up, man. Really hard to keep that cohesion and consistency, I feel.
Yeah, totally. There's nothing else like what they're doing, is there? So
Yo, it's Flip Tricks, aka the Big Dangler, aka Big Owl, representing High Focus, the 4 Owls. You're locked into the Crate 808 podcast. Remember to subscribe, review, and rate. Jeez.
Next up, man, Goonies vs. E.T. Hell of a title. Before I even start talking about this track, I've got to ask you one thing, Ray. Goonies or E.T., which one? And why?
Goonies.
Oh, that's too quick. Too quick for me to merit any of that.
It's the correct answer. That's why. So.
Okay, all right. Okay, if you could have one featuring on this album, E.T. or one of the Goonies, not all of the Goonies, not Posse Cut. Like you can only have Data or something. Which one would you rather have? You have to have one.
See, I said Goonies movie, but you'd have E.T., wouldn't you?
You probably would.
Yeah.
You probably would. Imagine, it's space age anyway. That's what you need, isn't it? Data's rubbish. You don't need data. You're messing about in the back with them oil slick things again. So now that we've got that bit sorted, into the track itself, man. For me, well, it's almost like a sleeper because at first I didn't really get into it and it felt like a bit of a track that kind of passed me by a little bit, the first listen. And then when you listen again and again and you kind of get, oh shit, I get it now. First of all, a bit of trivia for you here, Ray. I know you love a bit of trivia. The hook itself was meant for Elton John. Just imagine that. Like, what? Why would he have the hook to this? Amazing. But apparently, Elton John was supposed to have this hook. But the sound of it is kind of an extension of what you've just got, really. I don't think it's that different to what you've had. But the lyrics on it, and I know I keep bringing up lyrics again and again, but on Goonies vs. E.T., I'm sorry, the lyrics completely overpower the rest of it. Because again, you've got LP dropping Game of Thrones fucking references that he tweeted about that as well, by the way. Fuck your God, another planet on stash, which is amazing, by the way. Brilliant line. Far from the fact of the flames or our trash. That is not snow, it is ash. And that apparently is a Game of Thrones reference when the ash is falling and everyone thought it was snowing. He tweeted about that. There you go, mate. Another little bit of trivia for you. They're heavy subjects as well in this one, as I feel. Have we got another planet on stash? The way we're treating the planet right now, and that kind of thing does hit home where you think about all them Brian Cox lectures whilst you're on acid, watching him talking about how time isn't, even time will end at some point, and your mind just sort of goes, oh shit, we've got to get off this planet. I do want to get onto Killer Mike, but before I do, Ray, I would love to know what you think about the actual track itself.
I'm not feeling it.
What part of it are you not feeling?
This is the thing with this one. Again, I don't. When the beat is just throwing me off so much, like there are so many layers upon layers with this. The LP builds up around, with the drums and the sound effects. But I'm not really feeling the hook or the bass line. I mean, it's like it's an enjoyable journey, but it's not one I'm going to go on often. So there you go.
It's an enjoyable journey for some. I'm just going to sit here by the side.
It's not a track you're coming back to, is it? It's not a track you're coming back to.
No, it is. That's the thing. It's one of them that, because this is quite a short album. It's about, what, 10, 11 tracks? It's one of them ones that I end up repeating quite a bit. It's on the Crate 808 Bangers playlist.
Why?
Go check that out. Spotify, by the way. But again, it's the lyrics as well. And I think you are right about the beat itself. The beat itself, if there was a bit more mediocre rapping on it, yeah, I probably wouldn't be into it. But the fact that LP brings that, I would then say you could argue my favourite verse is Killer Mike on Ooh La La. But you could argue, and I think this argument should be made, Mike's last verse, that is probably verse of the year. So for that alone, it kind of carries it. So the verse I'm talking about is, stick with me here, because it is long, but it fucking brings home so much of the stuff that's actually going on in the world. Their message, it really crystallizes a lot of RTJ in it. But where he says, ain't no revolution that's televised or digitized. You've been hypnotized and Twitterized by silly guys. That I love the, Twitterized thing. I love that. Cues to the evening news, make sure you ill-advised. And the way he goes on, just the way that fucking flows to begin with, where he says televised or digitized or hypnotized or Twitterized, the way he really emphasizes every one of them bullets.
Yeah, definitely. And this is an example of what they do quite well on this, is that, like, for me, the beats don't really draw me in, but when you hear the verses, you're like, all right, and it brings it up loads, and it does score points that way, but I'm not coming back to it. But
okay. Well, this again, when we talk about elevates it, that I think it's about 2 minutes 12 seconds in. So even if you don't like the beat, skip to that bit, and any hip hop head, listen to that Killer Mike verse. Any hip hop head will go, fuck me, that is incredible. Like, it just, there's no, when you hear big pun rhyming in the back in the day, or if you heard someone like Nas at his peak, no matter who you are, hip hop heads are going to disagree. That's fucking incredible. If you don't agree with the content, it's the way he's spitting it. And I'm ready to do a whole podcast just on that verse because it's so deep. I mean, that's just the start of it. But he talks about genocide, and then he talks about obviously race in America and pride and fucking, oh man, there's just so much to it. And I don't think I have the chops to really dissect it properly, but it's fucking amazing shit. Like, it's insane how good he is. And that is probably, I would say, one of the verses of the year. So yeah, Goonies vs. CT, even if you're not feeling the actual track itself, the fact it has that on it, fucking see you later, man. But then you get up to the next track, Walking in the Snow. Raymond Ridge, what are you saying to Walking in the Snow, mate?
I'm just reading through Killer Mike's verse on that. Goonies versus ET, and like fucking hell. I know we're about to move on, but that just to re-emphasize, that verse is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. There's so much in it. There's so much in it.
That would be hip hop quotable.
But then also it's because it's also a continuation of the theme, and then the end of it where it's me and Jamie versus Joel with a knife and a musket. May our tombstones read, they were nothing to fuck with. And it's like subtle references to classic, to classic tunes as well, isn't it? So anyway, yeah. Wait, what are we talking about? Let's move. But
that whole that whole buddy movie, buddy TV theme, they kind of keep it going. Even in lines like that, like he's got really, really heavy, but then at the end he'll be like, "Well, fuck you guys, because it's us two versus the world." Yeah, I'm glad that you rewound that a little minute, like I rewound that track about 10 times. But Walking in the Snow, man, Walking in the Snow, Ray, what are you saying to that one?
There's loads of references. License to Ill, End with the Attitude. They weren't nothing to fuck with. Listen, if you take anything away from this review, listen to that verse again, like I should now.
There you go. 2 minutes 12 seconds in, man. Fucking get that one in, because that. Yeah, Killer Mike, man, fucking insane person. He's not literally insane. It's just making me insane. Walking in the Snow, though. Come on, kid. What you got? What you got with Walking in the Snow?
Walking in the Snow. So this is the Arkenstone of the album of Jewels, and I'm gonna go Bilbo Baggins on you, snatching this up so you fucking recognise. This is the tune. This is ridiculous. The build up, it's the satisfying darkness that LP is so good at, and that the hook as well. I mean, the serious, but then the hook's semi jokey, and Jesus, the Killer Mike verse as well on this. Like, I mean, so I'll just talk about the beat sonically, like how the beat changes behind Killer Mike's verse is it's like the beat switches to the vibe of his verse. It's the soundtrack of the times we're in. And it's weird because it was, this verse was recorded like last year, it was way before any of this stuff happened.
Way before any of the
something
latest process,
like prophetic or just really on point. And you lose words how to describe it. The sound is really, again, it's really 3-dimensional. It's like there's stuff going on all around you. It's a genuinely beautiful track. It's the soundtrack of the times, but it will be played forever. It's I can't say enough good about it. This is the one. This is the reason. This track is the reason it's in the conversation for album of the year already.
Yeah, I'd completely agree with all that. It's the track that kicks off the whole Cray 08 Bangers playlist. It's the track that I first fell in love with after hearing this album. I know we've talked about Oh La La and Yankee and the Brave and all them other ones, but I mean, they've probably got 4 tracks of the year on one album for me. And because you said it is haunting. It is haunting. It's just a kind of monument to the power of hip hop, I think. First time I listened to it, it was that the riots were really kicking off and stuff like that. And just real tension in the air every time you go on Twitter and stuff like that, social media. There's a lot of that in the air. And then to hear Killer Mike's verse, it just was, oh my God, this is that timing and serendipity of everything. I actually got quite emotional. But and he was like, it's the way the beat changes and it's the way he accelerates his rap. And then they change it and he goes, I can breathe. And that bit. And then it's amalgamation of all of that builds up, and you get to the point where you're like, "Holy fuck, man!" Like what you've just delivered to me is what hip hop is fucking incredible at, and it has done it in the past, in the 90s, consistently. And it's been a long time since I've heard something like that that moves me to an emotional level through bars. I'll emotionally react in other ways, but to actually feel like fucking sorrow and feel a bit of despair when you hear something, man, it's amazing. And I know you like the disingenuous line from LP as well, because that's your favourite word. So as soon as he said you disingenuous pricks, I was like, raised that one's for Ray. Boom.
Yeah, I'm in. What such a satisfying throw. What a disingenuous way to piss away existence. Yeah, it's a wicked line.
Yeah. And it's the way he enunciates it, mate. Think about that as well. The way they don't just think about what they're saying. They think about, I'm going to enunciate it that way. Oh man, artists, legends, man. when you talk about LP, there was bits on it where he talks about, I can't remember the line. I didn't even note it down. The cages line. It made me think of Children of Men, where he starts talking about, like, you know, you think these cages are just, I can't remember exactly what the bars were, but they were pretty much like, these cages are made for anyone. Like,
funny fact about a cage, they're never built for just one group. So when that cage is done with them and you still pour it, come for you. Yeah, it's
yeah, like that line for me, it brought home Children of Men, and it brought home a lot of stuff. I've been talking to my friends at work and stuff like that. They've been really, really delving into the, like for work and whatever they were doing on the side. They've been looking at history, and the amount of stuff I've heard from like Nazi Germany and fascism and stuff that normal people start doing. Normal people. Like, you know, for a whole country to have moved that way, like Germany, it was people that were normal. It filtered down to that, you know what I mean? And that hit home. When I heard LP on this doing that as well, I was like, fuck, man. Like, not only have you got Mike, we've just held on a massive pedestal for this, but, you know, you've got lyrics that are going to stay with me from LP as well.
Hey, yo, this your boy Foul March, and right now, you are rocking live with the Crate 808 podcast. Enjoy this week's episode, and just remember to subscribe and rate and review. Peace.
Next one up, man, Just. And I know this may now be sounding a lot like just an RTJ loving, especially on my end of things. Fair play to Ray bringing his other argument to it. But at the moment, again, I heard Just the first time. Interesting to see. Again, I look at the track list before I kick off. Saw Pharrell on there, but then you also see Zach De La Rocha, or De La Rocha, as we've said. And I was like, that's just an odd pairing, but okay, I'm here for this. And soon as you hear that kind of 808 drum, the hook, one of the better hooks on this album. There are some weak hooks on this album, I thought, but this is one of the better ones, I thought. It's just sick. I was like, wow, I was in on it. It reminded me of when Zach was on another RTJ track, what is it called again? Close Your Eyes and Count to Fuck, which is come on, this is one of the best album song titles of all time. But yeah, like, it gave me that energy that I wanted from that. It's very, very RTJ, you know, the whole anti-capitalist outlook. There's a brilliant reference to Beep Beep Richie from LP. Like, LP on this is fucking sick. But he does a beep beep Richie. This is the New York. And I was like, whoa, the it reference got me. Fucking brilliant. And then there's the fucking creme de la creme of fucking references where he says, hand on my heart and my mind on my drugs. Got a Vonnegut punch for your Atlas shrug.
Yeah, fucking hell. So it's so good, isn't it?
Like, obviously, not a lot of people may not be like read up on what he's referenced, but the way he references Kurt Vonnegut and then obviously Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged.
Yeah.
First of all, the spectrum of literature there is mad, but then to put them in a bar like that, I was just like, fuck, man. But then he follows it with something. I can't remember. He talks about his Buddha or something. They love to not love. It's just that dumb. Lord, sweet Buddha, please make me numb. And then it gives you that whole. And you know, they have a lot of personal issues. They come out on this album. It's weird, isn't it? They operate on two levels, which is like big overview, global viewpoint. This is, you know, the state of the world. But they really do go quite granular at times as well, and I think that's a really interesting thing they do.
But then the next line is that brain bounce off walls like a sentient Roomba. So it brings it back to just just jokes as well. I can imagine, you know, just writing that and being like, and then watching his Roomba doing his, you know, the hoovering in the studio, like, ooh. Yeah, no, he really pulls out all the stops for this one.
Yeah, I thought that, man. I did think that. I think it's very hard to see them have like real low points on the album, but when again they hit more heights and heights as you go, you're just like, fuck, man, we're just so fucking blessed to have this shit right now. I mean, it made me miss Rage. Yes, I want to see, you know, RTJ and fucking Rage could be amazing. That idea of symbolism they bring as well about, you know, slave masters on your dollar. And they, you know, their own logo is very symptomatic of, you know, what they stand for, run the jewels. I don't know, it just brings a lot to mind. I've just been to a few pods recently, and Rolling Stones podcast, mate, with Killer Mike is a fucking great conversation, mate. I would urge most people to check that out because it's not just your generic rapper talking about, you know, this is our new album or whatever, but he does genuinely. Let me tell you this, after that conversation, I fucking felt proud to be a hip hop head. If you talk about any culture and art and how it reflects what's happening, so societal change, injustice, social injustice, stuff like that. He was on that podcast. It was brilliant. He was saying like how rap has consistently been responsible. It's been quite, for all the irresponsibility in rap, it does become quite responsible when it's got a social change agenda to push. And I feel like they jump on that. They are that, but he also in that was talking about how like people like Trina still done it. There's other people who don't usually do this, Future and people like that. And it's just fucking great to hear, man. Then again, when you go to the fact that his dad's a cop and he talks about how like his dad taught him, what's the words? I've got them written down here actually. He taught me how to survive a police encounter. He said there is no impolite way to say yes, sir, or yes, ma'am. And he was always like, I learned these things from my dad. And he was like, answer all the questions you need to answer, get locked up, call us, wait for us. And he said, that is essentially how I was brought up. And when you hear him talk like that, man, you can't help but think about his album and you're like, wow, a lot of the stuff he says, you can put it as like he's the Yankee and the Brave characters and they're kind of joking and stuff like that. But a lot of it is weighted in really like fatherly advice and stuff like that as well. What are you saying, Ray?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with this track. I mean, it's there's got quite a lot of that kind of deepness to be taken seriously, and the Zach De La Rocca feature, and he's being as Zach De La Rocca as possible on it. It's just it's a perfect feature in terms of that. But that's what I'd say. Like, I know you've already said about LP's verse, but it's just that's the LP. This is one of the verses of the album. This is an incredible verse, and the flow at the start as well. That whole man, you better duck out, get the bag and then bug out, and then the whole that way, that kind of offbeat kind of flow is just it's so sick, and I want more of it. I want more of it from LP. But yeah, this it's the hidden gem. This is the hidden gem of the album.
Oh, okay, hidden gem.
Arkenstone is kind of the Arkenstone is kind of the perfect hidden gem example. But anyway, that's an opportunity missed. Doesn't matter. I've already used it. But this is the hidden gem. This is the hidden gem.
Okay. Yeah, it's funky as well, man. It's a fucking beat, isn't it? Like, it really does move you as well. It makes me think of when they do go live and they drop this. I mean, we saw them at fucking Field Day and they were incredible, but like, just imagine them live. And that's another thing Killer Mike did say. He was like, I see Outkast as like the Rolling Stones, and I see us as like the Led Zeppelin, the 5 album run and all that. Like, they have had a really, really incredible album run. That's another conversation. But he says, we are like, when we try to perform, we're like the AC/DC of this shit. And when you see them live and you hear, if they drop just, it's going to be one of them that gets you fucking hype in the mosh pit. I do feel that. I do.
Yeah, totally. Especially with the Zach De La Rocca verse, just with the energy he brings. It's just, it's next level.
Yeah, man. Never change, Zach. Never change, mate.
I'm going with Zach. It's De La Rocca. It's De La Rocca.
You go with De La Rocca?
Yeah.
Right, okay, cool. Let's go with De La Rocca. I'm just going to call him Zach, mate. I think that's what he wants. So...
Yo, what up, y'all? This is DJ Premier, and you're checking out the Crates 808 podcast. I put an S on it because there's more than one record in the crate, you know what I'm saying? So that's how we dig, that's how we play, and that's what real DJs do. You heard? That's why it goes down. We out here.
Next up, man, Never Look Back. Raymond Ridge, what are you saying to Never Look Back, man?
I'll probably never look back at it. I'm not feeling the beat again. It sounds like a Spectrum computer game soundtrack or like an 80s movie. Not in a good way either. Like, it sounds like the show music to Running Man. Like Ben Richards is about to drop a hot line. Sub-Zero, now Plane Zero. I'm not really.
Hey, Christmas tree.
I'm not really feeling Christmas tree. He says I'll be back in that movie as well.
Does he? Yeah, I think he. Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, he has possibly the most underrated Arnie line in Running Man, by the way, where it's only 2 words, but it's amazingly well done. Because you probably will miss it, but it's when someone goes, "Jesus Christ!" and you just hit Arnie, go, "Guess again." That's it. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, so good. I feel like he must have written some of these lines. He'd be like, "Yeah, I'll do it, but I have to write my own lines." Yeah, like he had to split. Yeah, it's good. It's
yeah. He's living his fucking best life, by the way, during the fucking lockdown. There with his fucking goats in his jacuzzi.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? What are they called? Are they mini pony? Whatever the hell they are.
They're great. Whatever they are, I want some. They look fucking great, man.
They got to make a mess in the house, haven't they? They have to. There's got to be.
He's not cleaning it himself, mate. Come on, behave.
Yeah, but still, it's not very hygienic, is it?
Yeah, exactly. Well, there. Again, this album's very dynamic. It's got a lot of pace to it. It's got it's quite breathless at times. This is, I think, where it lulls, and that dynamism kind of lacks a little bit. Some people like it, I bet. I bet some people like a bit of respite, thank God. But for me, it was the energy levels drops a little bit. But it made me, I did go back because there was some moments on it where I was like, even though this is probably my least favourite track on the album, there are moments in it where I was like, wow, even that I need to bring up though. First of all, realise Mike is actually punctuating. Everything LP drops, Mike punctuates it. So I was like, that's quite nice. Because not a lot of to and fro on this album as much as usual. So it's nice to have that. The second verse kills it, talking about his mum and his dad. And there's one moment where I was like, hold on, what did he say? Again, things you miss, where he says, Killer Mike must have suckled up crime through our mama's right titty. Show me a better line about parenting than that this year. That's brilliant. Suckled up crime through my mama's right titty. Even on tracks like where they aren't the strongest tracks, again, as we said before, the lyrics will elevate it to the point where you have Mike at the end of this fucking track, again, talking about making money. They have that contradictory thing to all. They've just said unjust about the downward spiral of money and the things that can really, really fucking hinder in life. But in this, he also admits that, never look back. You will only get bitter. If you get bitter, you will never get better. Never get better, then you never get bigger. Never get bigger, then you never make cheddar. And cheddar being his end point. I mean, that alone is a fucking great flow. It's really simple, but it's fucking emphatic, right? Yeah,
I mean, what's the point he's making there? If never look, the flow's sick, doesn't matter. Just fucking enjoy it.
We usually let a lot more go, but no, you could dive into it, couldn't you? Because it does look like don't look back on stuff because you will only get bitter on stuff, and if you get bitter, you won't get better. And better to him equates to getting more cheddar. I suppose there's a line to that, but I also think that, looking back is, if you talk about meditation and stuff like that, looking back forwards, everything, being in the moment, mate, I think all of it matters. But again, it sounds fucking sick, so shut the fuck up, Cam. Let's get on with it. So we're heading up near the end, man. This is where it gets very interesting on the album. The Ground Below. The heavy metal fucking track on this album, just heavy metal, kicks it off. Yes, please, let's go. They just start, they go into rock, and you're like, you've got enough credit in the bank. Take me on this journey, because I don't usually like it.
Do they though? This is RTJ's Rip Rock, isn't it? You remember it on Can I Bus? Just,
Rip Rock.
Why is it on here?
Yeah.
Why is it on here? Why did Cannabis put that on here on that album? I just
Cannabis
no.
Is, yeah.
That was.
I don't mind it.
No. Well, I mind it.
Well, again, like I said, it's the credit in the bank. I think the rock thing kind of dissipates as you go throughout the track anyway. I mean, they both have very, very, very good lines again, though, coming in. And I know we've talked a lot about lyrics generally, but they keep bringing it. Mike saying, not a holy man, but I'm moral in my perversiveness. So I support the sex workers unionising their services. Yeah, I'm here for sex workers unionising. That subject matter, I'm not going to get that subject matter in a future album.
It's true.
Do you know what I mean?
True.
I'm not going to listen to another album and get that. Like that line alone, I'm like, oh shit, yeah, of course they should unionize. And this whole kind of mindset they're in is just fucking deep, man. And again, the hook, not one of the best ones on here. Not a massive fan either. LP though, LP's line on when he comes in this as well, which is born from the ether, I appeared out of cloud of reefer, screaming, fuck the world, it can drink what's coming out of my urethra.
It's a wicked line. Yeah, it's
I'm sorry. I reckon you could go to the pub and have a fucking great time with these two because they seem really fucking funny and insightful. Again, probably not one of the best tracks on the album, but it's definitely not one of the other tracks where it hinders the album for me because it's quite a short album anyway, isn't it? Like we said, and it's not one of them where I'm like, oh God, not this track again. But it does set up the last two well, I think. And the last two are really more meditative, a lot more introspective. I mean, what else are you saying then to Ground Below? Ray, what is there anything else you want to add to this? Because I like it, but I like the verses more than the beat itself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of repeating myself in terms of the verses bring it up. I mean, I'm not really feeling the beat. I'm just going to rate the rest of these tracks with Arnold Schwarzenegger quotes. Consider that a divorce. Next.
This is a podcast on its own. This is a new podcast where we just have you reviewing. Remember back in the day where that DJ would call up pizza places and Chinese takeaways and stuff like that and just use Arnie?
Yeah. Yeah, with the Arnie soundboard, isn't it? Who's your daddy and what does he do?
I'm sorry, right, mate. The first time I heard that, I think I don't understand why I found it so funny, but I found it so funny. I was in tears. I think I threw up. I think I threw up.
You threw up?
Incredible.
Fucking hell.
I think I threw up. It was either during that or a Pro Evo campaign when we were really pissed. Either way, that Arnie soundboard thing is classic still to this day. Who is your daddy? But you should just do that from now on. Brilliant. I'm here for that podcast. I'm here for that kind of review.
Let's do it.
Yes, you're rocking with the best. This is the one and only Just Blaze. Right now, you're checking out the Crate 808 podcast. Remember to hit up crate808.com, like, comment, subscribe, and all of that. Peace.
Raymond, man, pulling the pin. What are you saying to pulling the pin, man? I'm interested to see what you think to this one.
Fucking hell. How can I not be so negative about it, but also be honest? Yeah, I'm not really feeling this one either. I mean, it comes over a bit. It comes over a bit like overindulgent. Do you know what I mean? Well, what's it for? What's the beat is real slow. It's not interesting. It's like it's a movie. I mean, the whole album is kind of like a movie soundtrack with this big sounding. Yeah, maybe that's what I'm picking up. Maybe it's an audition for, soundtrack in an 80s movie, and that's what it is. But I mean, this tune, it doesn't grab me like the great tracks are so fucking great that maybe it's just they're cursed with the greatness of Walking in the Snow and Just. Those are the standouts for me.
I understand that. I do. Like Yankee and the Brave and Pulling the Pin are two completely different rap songs. And I feel like that's one thing that I do enjoy about this album is if I've got a playlist of just RTJ bangers, I know what I'm getting. But with an album, it kind of takes you on a bit of a journey, right?
Yeah, so there is that. So I mean, that's the thing with it is that, at the start we said that it's being 2020 and it's the time of the playlist. You listen to an album, pick out your tracks and then discard the rest kind of thing. And this album, like you said, it is made as an album. It is a journey. It is a complete piece from start to finish. So maybe, in that context, this track really works because it's, this track is... like it is really slowed down and it is, it's not really about, club music or drive to it music. It's more just kind of, sit in the park and, gaze at the horizon and just lose yourself in what they're trying to do. And so, maybe it does have its place, but I don't, it's not a track I'll be coming back to much, but it serves its purpose, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's more emo. I know it's not an emo track, but it's more emo. It's more about feelings. There's a lot of heart in this song, I feel. There's that moment where, well, just before we go into the moments, again, we have listened to this album a lot, and with them fucking great headphones, you pick up lots of different fucking great styles of production. And I just don't want to sleep on the fact that Pulling in the Pin starts off with this really fucking murky intro, which has got like these cymbals and this almost like dark voice you can't make out what's saying. And honestly, mate, if you isolate them 4 seconds, I think it's only about that, it sounds like a Burial song. I'm not sure if you like Burial or not, but we've been at festivals where we're playing Burial and stuff like that and dubstep like that. And it's a very, very, very odd start. I was like, why have they even put that in? It's only 5 seconds. But to them, it must mean something because obviously they're craftsmen. And then when you listen to it, you're like, wow, it unwinds. The beat unwinds from that. And that becomes quite crucial, that little intro, because it kind of separates it from the rest of the album. Where it's like, right, we've done the big showpiece set pieces. We've done the big action-packed bits. Now, this is a moment of maybe like in a TV show or a film, you have the high and then you inevitably have the low and then you have a rise again. This is obviously the inevitable low in a film where it's like, oh no, he's lost the girl and blah, 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 blah. So in that way, I find it quite subtle, but it's also very expansive in the same fact. The production itself, and that's what I mean. The production itself is a lot of space to fucking rhyme in. And when they rhyme on it, I think a way I would put it, and this happens to a lot of songs, especially stuff like To Pimp a Butterfly or to stuff, that's a little bit more heavier. It's something you're not going to revisit all the time. This track is not going to be on my playlist. Yeah. This track isn't going to be a track I revisit.
But I guess it's not aiming to be that either, is it?
Exactly.
It's not trying to serve that purpose. So
exactly. You would have to want to give it time, but it's rewarding when you do for me. It's hugely rewarding because I gave it time. I thought, you know what, I'm going to sit here, I want to re-listen to it. And that's what it's about, this one. Because I think in it, first of all, it's another anti-capitalist anthem, but within it, they have these kind of real personal stories. So again, marries that whole two things again that I was saying. The wordplay from LP, where he says stuff like, perhaps explaining years of self-lobotomy toxically, perhaps explaining tears and even tears in my cosmology.
Yeah.
That, the way he flips tears to tears, the way he talks about the way he's made up. I was like, what the fuck? And then you go into lyrics where Mike fucking brings shit at the end, where you're like, holy shit, like, did I just hear that correctly? And he says stuff like, when he says for Mike, again, MVP 2020, this is what he's been doing this through the whole fucking album. But even now, he's like, the devils, they do the despicable and still they move like they're invincible. These filthy criminals sit at the pinnacle, doing the typical, keeping us miserable. The way he rhymes all that bit is amazing.
And that's the thing, I guess when you put them both together, sorry to interrupt, but when they put them together as in LP's flowing really slowly, and Mike comes in and it's a really quick flow as well. But it really works together. He's got that Jimmy Savile line in this one as well, hasn't he?
Exactly, Jimmy Savile. He calls him Jimmy Savile, so I missed it the first time. And then you hear Jimmy Savile, they cheerfully kill kids in a ritual. What the fuck? Jesus. But again, it's deep. It's fucking deep. And there's a grenade in my heart. That fucking bit on I love that line as well. Like, it's just quite a vivid line to write for anyone to sing. I thought her voice was amazing, by the way. I thought she was great on it. Mavis Staples. I think Josh Homme's on this album as well from Queens of the Stone Age.
Oh yeah.
But he's helping on the production, I think, or something on the background at least. Anyway, when you have that moment, and this is why this track works for me. They emphasize how amazing her voice is when the track goes into silence and it pretty much stops. Then LP restarts it again with some new vigor. And it's almost like the cycle of feelings we have against unjust systems to me, where it was like, you have these feelings, you get really angry, you get really introspective, you get really passionate about it, they dissipate, and then you get passionate about it and it reinvigorates when something new happens and you're like, fuck me, man, I just fucking want to feel this again. It's almost like this track does that. There's a moment where you're like, why did they just stop this? And then you realize, oh, so this bit can come in and really fucking take you. And I love this track for that. You're right. It's not, if you were looking at RTJ bangers. Yeah, it's probably not that. But what it is, it's great songwriting. And I think that you can't sleep on the fact that they can do that now, man. And that's amazing that we've got hip hop artists that can do both. Do you know what I mean? Fucking wicked, man.
Yeah, no, totally.
And then, man, last up, RTJ4, a few words for the firing squad. Raymond, what are you saying to this track, mate?
Okay, you can't not feel this tune. They're both super honest all the way through. Like the beat builds and builds. The beat is amazing, and then the verses, they're like raw and open and honest and passionate. I mean, I guess that that's what they are through and through. But it works as well because like it's the final track and it's words for the firing squad. It's the end, of the concept of the track of their journey of the it's the perfect end. It's a great it's a great track. I've just seen. I've noted down an Arnie quote for it. Give these people air. That's the track for this because this is giving the people air. Carl Hagen, give these people air. Shut up. And then this, and the end of this track, it's got the Yankee and the Brave outro, which is also sick. And I want that outro to be a track too. That whole thing, and that. Have you heard it next to the Pinky and the Brain intro? It's got that reference of Pinky and the Brain, and there's the Yankee and the It's a great ending, and I'm hoping that Yankee and the Brave outro is going to. It's not already. That's not a track anywhere, is it?
No, what it does, it cycles back to the first track, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I mean, in terms of the tune, I mean, the beat for that Yankee and the Brave outro, I mean, that's not an actual tune because that also needs.
But it needs to be.
It needs to be. Yeah, good.
That's one of my favourite moments on the album.
Yeah, no.
Is that outro. I'm glad you're with me.
It's so good. And that's the thing with it. That's a little taste of a beat that that's a hip hop beat that touches me. That really it grabs me. That's the one. That's what I'm feeling. Yeah, and that's what I mean about disappointment's too strong a word, but that's, in terms of the beats that I'm not feeling, that are not that vibe, they got this little flavor of like a sick beat right at the end. And I'm like, oh my God, there's more to come.
Yeah, they always they're prick teasing you. They're prick teasing you, mate. That's what it is. And again, yeah, I mean, we talk about categories. I think I missed one of my categories earlier, by the way, when we talk about non-90s rappers or 90s rappers being on here. They're kind of 90s rappers, so I would go in non. I was going to say, I would actually like to hear MIA on this album somewhere, just to see what she'd bring, because I think they'd actually work quite well. Is she a rapper? She's kind of, yeah. But what I was going to say was, this is my hidden gem. A Few Words for the Firing Squad is a track that, although I've heard a few people laud it, I've not heard a lot of love. When you hit it, as much. When I heard this track, man, like you said, they're fucking raw, man. It's extremely personal. It may be their most personal track ever, I would say. They've done other personal tracks for sure, absolutely they have, in their solo stuff and in their Big Up the Rap Music album, by the way, by Killer Mike, fucking incredible album. But the build up on this as well, like the way they build up that track and culminates, and you're like, fuck, man. After a few listens, that build up really becomes the forefront of the track for me. Like when this comes on, I'm like, okay, now I know. I remember it's going to really get ramped up. And Killer Mike, man, we talked about the hypocrisies of wanting to make money, but also lambasting people with money. Do you know what I mean? That whole thing.
Yeah.
His fucking second verse starts it all off. It'd be a lie if I told you I ever disdained the fortune and fame, but the presence of the pleasure never abstained me from any of the fucking pain.
Yeah.
I've added fucking there for emphasis, but Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah. And then talks about his mum dying while he was, on a plane.
Yeah,
which is
on a plane. And this is what I mean. This is the kind of songwriting that resonates with me, where you've done all the other shit, but I'm going to let you have these moments to really fucking, get really into your feelings. I love that shit. And when he says, because obviously everyone's holding him up on a pedestal, Killer Mike. I'm not helping on this, to be fair, calling him the MVP, but he must feel, he's a human being, man. He's just a normal bloke, really. He's just fucking incredible at doing this stuff. The way he talks about how that pressure he feels, the pressure of having a family, and how that comes before anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when he says, dead serious, it's a chore not to let myself go insane. It's crippling, make you want to lean on a cup of promethazine, but my queen says she need a king, not another junky flunky rapper fiends. And then says, friends tell her he could be another Malcolm, he could be another Martin. She told her partner, I need a husband more than a world need another martyr. And you're like, that's an insight into your life. And now I don't want to put that much pressure on you. You're not Martin Luther King. You're not Malcolm X. You are just yourself. You're Killer Mike.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. It's a crazy moment of, like we said already, like he has stepped up and filled that role. He did do the impromptu speech on that TV interview, didn't he? He has done that. So he would have recorded this. I'm just imagining this because the album's ready from way back, right? So this would have been recorded before he actually did step up and have that. Is it that moment? Maybe it was, because that's circulated all over. That's the speech that you wanted. That's the speech. I don't want to cheap it with a fucking Independence Day reference, but when that speech that the president has, we will have our Independence Day, or whatever. I can't remember what it was, but that's the equivalent speech that Killer Mike did. Of all times, the way you would want your President Trump to step up and lead the country against while the whole country is literally burning down. Killer Mike had that speech that makes you stop and pay attention. Like, fuck, all right, yeah, let's be serious.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And this is, again, album of the times, album of the moment, but also an album that you're going to listen back to over and over again. Like in 2022, 2023, I do feel Holy Kalamafuck, tracks like, Ooh La La, obviously, for me, Yankee in the Brain, those are still tracks that I'm probably going to bump, just like I'll still bump RTJ4. And I think this is the thing with Killer Mike, when he brings stuff like this, it just makes the album complete. You're adding heart to it, man. You're adding some soul to this fucking shit. And not just soul, man. That sax climax at the end of this fucking track. Sex climax, I would call it. Fucking amazing. I'm sorry, it's fucking amazing. It was like, it just ends on this saxophone, which then goes into that, obviously the Yankee and the Brave outro. But fuck Kenny G on fucking Kanye, man. Fuck the guy on Lost Boys. I watched Lost Boys again the other day. How many 80s and 90s references can you have in one podcast? but that guy oiled up on the Lost Boys scene. fair play to him, man. Fucking bringing it, he was in that. The saxophone on this, the way it just goes out, fucking amazing. Yeah, man. I don't even know if it is a saxophone. It's a trumpet of some sort. Either way, man. It got me fucking going.
Yeah, totally. It is. It's the perfect end to the album. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next. Just bring some boom. Just bring some boom bap. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Bit of boom bap, please, for a little bit of boom bap for the dads. But yes, man. Well, there you go. I mean, again, I love the fact that it ends on them just getting shot up by a firing squad. Fucking yes, let's go. Do you know what I mean? These are the moments that really make it complete. A lot of fucking foresight, a lot of thought goes into it, and it fucking pays off. For me, album of the year contender for sure. Raymond Ridge, going to conclude here for a minute. Before I get into my little section I wanted to chat to you about, could you give it a rating out of 10, this album?
7.
Okay, that's strong. I'm going with 8. And you know what? I think we're very, very young, aren't we, as a podcast? So the first album debates we have ended last year, we gave some scores out, and I need to revise a few of them maybe, but I do think I need to be stricter. But this one kind of does tick so many boxes. It has everything, man. Like you said earlier, it has political shit. It has break the fucking wall shit or chandeliers, whatever it is. You know what I mean? It has pensive shit, introspective shit.
I mean, but it also has one of the walking in the snow trays. That's the head and shoulders above the rest, and this really is the Arkenstone of the album in every way. And it's just the way. Like through the rest of the album, the verses bring up the beats, whereas that's the track where the beat and the verses they're both great, and the way the beat kind of transforms to the almost to the lines, line by line kind of thing. It's the way it develops, and then for the things that are completely outside of their control, for the Killer Mike verse to be talking about, I can't breathe, and for all that to have happened and be this pivotal moment in the world. Yeah, it's perfect track with that perfect time.
Yeah, man. I was going to ask you before we do leave this. I know it's been a fucking long one, but it's track by track, man. I hope you enjoyed it, guys out there. But I did want to ask you one thing before we move on. I now think that they are a viable inclusion to the best rap duos conversation.
Yeah.
If you're looking at best rap duos of all time, I would not struggle, but I would think you could look at their 4-album run and put it up there and think there's enough in there. There's enough even in the way they just perform live, man. There's enough in, obviously, their merch, the way they look. If you look at rap duos in time, I think they're in the conversation, man. What are you saying?
Yeah, they're 100% in there. And in there because it's not just what they've done, it's the potential, it's where they're going to go as well. Now they're established in this place as well. Like,
that's crazy, right?
Yeah, I mean, when you say they're in the conversation, they're well established in the conversation. They're in there. They're like high up.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And you're right. It's fucking mad. Again, that Rolling Stone conversation with Killer Mike, he ends it by saying, this isn't the end. I'm just going to keep making more killer shit. And you're like, yeah, yes, please. Okay, let's go. Well, man, Raymond, man, thank you for bringing you. I think this might be the one we've got on the most, even though maybe, again, could be you're tired or whatever, or there's something in the air. But it's the first time me and Ray have really got onto an album. Look at this.
Yeah.
Hold on, 2020, bringing people together.
That's it. It's just the joy that the combination of Killer Mike and LP bring. It's infectious. It's what it is. Man. It's all right. I'll be back to, my fucking anti-self for the next one. I'm going
to bring a Griselda record to the next one, so don't worry about it.
Oh, there we go. That's a full fucking reset button.
Back to normal. So, Ray, man, thank you very much. Just leaves me to tell people, man, go out there, check us out, crate808.com. We've got shitloads of new fucking interviews come out. Master Ace, R.A. the Rugged Man. By the time this comes out, there could be a few more. But we've got loads of those. We've got debates. We've got reviews. Go check us out. We're on Insta, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Get involved in the conversation, man. And man, we've even opened up a little mailbag. So email us, crate808@gmail.com. We're just asking for least hip hop things you've done in the last 24 hours. We're asking, but you know what? I'd love to hear people's takes on RTJ4. If you could just give me some correspondence, what you think, we'll put it back in one of our episodes to come up. Any slept on Wu-Tang Clan bangers, we're always open to hear some of those things. And do you guys think that Killer Mike, LP, Run the Jewels are not even the conversation for best rap duo? Are they the best rap duo in hip hop of all time? I'm just putting it out there. I'm just here dropping bombs. I just would love to know.
Yeah, they might be. They might be.
I mean, come on. Like, it doesn't hurt to ask the question, does it? So I would, before you do go, I need to ask you the usual thing I ask you, man. What's the last great thing you heard, Raymond Ridge?
Right, hang on a sec.
Oh, he's going to his iPod.
Yeah. He's getting his old cassette tape out. He's getting his Walkman out. What's it? Fucking iPod. What are you talking about? Hang on a sec. No, I have actually been listening to Elmatic.
Elmatic? Oh, Elmatic?
Yeah, the Elzai.
Is this because Master Race put him in his top 5?
It's exactly that. Yeah. So, literally, Master Race put him in his top 5, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, I need to give Elzai more time. So I went. It's just Master Race was right. He was right about Elzai. Yeah, he's got lyrics.
Yeah, man. No, it's sick. He is sick. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I might get that revisit myself, man. It's been a minute. Well, last one I listened to, that was absolutely great. I know Ray doesn't like this album, but I fucking love it. Salt, Untitled, Black His. That fucking album, man. I don't know what they put in that album, but it's fucking crack cocaine or some shit because I cannot stop listening to it. But yeah, that's another one of my contenders for album of the year. But yeah, if you enjoy funk, if you enjoy soul, just get ready for some funky ass fucking bass, man, because that's what it's all about. And obviously very, very, very relevant right now. But yes, man, Raven Ridge, thank you for stepping in, kid. I'm sure we're going to hit up another debate soon. And yes, I will catch you soon, mate.
All right, cool. Catch you soon. I'm going to have a shower and go to work now. Fucking 3 a.m. starts. What a lot of shit. Arnie, it was good. It's good. Let's do it again. All right, catch you soon.
All right, peace out. Brah.